Chapter 10. Fender had no idea that Ronnie was off on an adventure with Cappy. He had been spending a lovely evening with Loretta at the ball. Now it was time to say goodnight. "Oh, my darling," he said as he kissed Loretta's hand. Loretta giggled like a schoolgirl. "Thanks for walking me home," she said. "Thanks for carrying me up that hill," Fender replied. "Until tomorrow," Fender sighed. "I shall count the seconds." He paused for a moment. "So far I'm up to 4. "You're crazy, nut boy," Loretta laughed. "Crazy about you," Fender assured her. Loretta squealed with delight and then raced into her house. "Oh," Fender sighed happily as he kept up his heels and began to dance his way home. His metal feet clunked against the sidewalk, giving him the perfect beat to sing to. "I'm singing in the oil, just singing in the oil." He grabbed the lamppost and swung around, clicking his heels with pure delight. The lamppost was not amused. "Get your hands off me," she demanded. The bandbox on the corner didn't appreciate Fender's hands on behalf either. "That's my wife, buddy," he warned angrily. Fender looked at the tall, slender lamppost and the short, squat mailbox. "Whoopsie daisy," Fender said. "Sorry, but just like you two crazy kids, I'm in love. I'm not one. I'm a winner. Or maybe not." Whoosh! Suddenly, a sweeper swept by, its jaws open. In a split second, it completely consumed the Rusty. "Wait! This is a big mistake!" Fender cried from inside the sweeper. "Let me out!" "Do I look in at more to you?" It was dark and cramped inside the sweeper. Fender could hear strange noises coming from outside. "Open the doors!" He banged angrily on the jaws of the sweeper. "Open the doors!" As if on command, the sweeper's jaws opened, revealing the dark dungeon that was the chop shop. It was truly an awful sight to behold. "Close the doors!" Fender shouted. "Close the door!" The sweeper titled upward and split its entire contents, including Fender, onto the floor. "Ah!" Fender shouted as he tumbled onto a long conveyor belt that moved through the factory. Fender's fears soon turned to glee as he whirled along past piles and piles of spare parts. He reached out excitedly and grabbed it all the hands, feet, noses, and eyes from the spare parts smorgasbord that he could now hold. "Wow!" he exclaimed. "Look at all these parts! So many things I've wanted all my life. So many things I've wanted all my life." He spotted all particularly attractive body parts in the piles. "Oh, that's pretty," he cried as he reached out his hand. Snap! A saw blade came down right in front of him. Fender screamed and snatched his hand back just in time. Suddenly, he remembered the danger he was in. He looked around and spotted a group of Madame Gasket's minions standing around a giant grinder. Yikes! He had to get out of there. The petrified Rusty jumped and tried to run in the opposite direction. Like a kid going to one way on the escalator, Fender was fighting a losing battle, but he was determined to get away. He kept running, holding against hope that his wicked body could outrace the conveyor belt. Unfortunately, as he tried to run, his foot got caught in a spring on the mechanism. He struggled to pull himself free. but it was no use. Suddenly, a fresh load of street-swept spare parts fell from the ceiling and began heading straight for Fender. He was certain to, to be buried alive. Bam! A huge piece of metal slammed against Fender, knocking him off the conveyor belt. Yeah! He screamed as he bounced off the belt and swung toward the ground, his foot still stuck in the darn spring. Fender hovered upside down over the lower level of the chop shop. He moved along slowly with the conveyor belt, unable to wrest himself from the swing. Just then Fender heard Ratchet's voice coming from below him. He looked over and got a clear. It's upside down. Fear of Ratchet speaking to horrifying-looking woman. Okay, Mother. This way, Ratchet was saying. Fender gasped. Oh, I can't hear it, Madame Gasket replied. Let me look. Oh, please. Her hands were over her eyes, and her hideous body was particularly qualified with an expectation as her son turned her around. No picking now, Ratchet teased playfully. It's a surprise. Oh, you're a wicked boy. By now, even Fender was dying to see what the big surprise was. He didn't have to wait long. And look, Ratchet told his mother. The old boss lowered her hands and gasped. Her eyes filled with drops of oil, but they were tears of joy. Her son had given her a wonderful gift. A new model super bigger and shinier, and more vicious than the oldest ones. But of all, it had custom license plates that read, Psycho Mama. For me? Madame Gasket murmured gratefully. Ratchet held up the keys. It's got a whole full tank of gas. If ready to mow, she's ready to go. I figured we're going to do it. Let's do it right. Madame Gasket looked proudly at her son. Has any mother ever had a better son? She asked. Oh, thanks, Mom, Ratchet said, trying not to sound too pleased. Oh, by the way, I found who's to be fixing his outmosts. He used the fancy remote control to open the sweeper's jaws. So starting tomorrow, these babies will wind up my home and anyone else in 5 miles radius. Hanging upside down while caught in the spring is not the best way to hear your friend is about to be eliminated by a horde of evil machines. Fender failed a cry as he crawled as he sprang, trying to get further away from the evil dude. His nightmare was about to get worse. At the very moment, Ratchet and his mother looked upward and spotted Fenders hanging overhead. And they were not pleased to find an outboard hanging around. What the? Madame Gasket shuddered. She leaps toward Fender, grabbing his in his direction. The conveyor belt continued moving, and he was yanked out of her reach in the nick of time. Ah! Fender cried out as he was carried away. Madame Gasket let out a particularly sinister laugh. It always made her happy when another rusty outboarded but mode it was very way into the grinder. The spring holding Fender's foot jerked up so suddenly that it whipped the bottom half of his body right off, and Fender fell back onto the conveyor belt. The shock was overwhelming, but Fender couldn't cry over his bared legs right now. The conveyor belt was moving closer and closer to the grinder. Fender grabbed the nearest set of legs and attached them to his torso. When he looked down, he realized he'd given himself a pair of woman's legs, completely with the skirts and high heels. This is so wrong. This is so wrong, Fender complained as he studied his new lower half. Fender hobbled in on his stiletto heels until he reached the end of a conveyor belt, and then jumped safely. He landed in the dumpster as he popped his head from the collected junk. He noticed that a few springs and coils had attached themselves to his head. "Help!" he shouted. He had as he darted out of the chop shop so quickly as his new high heels could carry him. That's in chapter 11. With something conveyor belt as long as it's all chapter 20/time. Next chapter 11.